Heather and her team at North Highland were engaged by the college to look at our business model at PJI and consider, what are the possibilities for PJI in terms of the education that we are doing on campus, but also the education in the community. And as you all know, we have a revenue line in this business model. So the college is really trying to assess the viability. Heather's going to talk to you about the work that was done over about a month-long period to do this business assessment, and what they found out and what they determined are our next big steps, challenges, and decisions to be made at the college. You all are important counsel and decision makers for us. And I know you're going to listen intently to this because there are some big ideas here for the future of PJI and our vision. So we're going to have about a 20-minute presentation from Heather, and then we're going to have an opportunity to have a discussion, ask questions, and really imagine, put ourselves in that space of imagining and visioning where this organization, the Peace and Justice Institute at Valencia College, might be in 10 years. So Heather, thank you for joining us. I saw Keitorria is here joining us, who was on the team. Thank you for joining us, Keitorria. She is on the North Highland team. And I don't know if Leigh is here this morning. Is Leigh here? Heather?
No, Leigh had a conflict come up. She was unable to make it, but she sends her regards. And so she couldn't make it this first part of the meeting.
So Heather and Keitorria and Leigh were our key team and consultants that we worked with. So thank you, Heather, for the work you did, and I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just so I can manage the flow of our slides. Can everyone see our screen? Heads up, yeah. Well, good morning, everyone. I just feel so honored to be here. This experience that we had in working in partnership with Rachel and Will and the entire Peace and Justice team, along with core stakeholders, folks from the college. It truly was an inspirational experience for me personally. So just amazed at the work you guys are all doing and the impact you've had in the time that you've already spent in this area and the future opportunity that lays ahead. As Rachel said, we spent about 4 weeks together working to help define what a future area of opportunity could be for the Peace and Justice Institute. And today, I'd love to just take you through the work that we did and the articulation of that future state. And at the end of the presentation, we'll have some time for any questions you may have of the work that we did.
Heather,
so just a quick overview. Oh, yeah.
Is there any way to share your full screen? Right now, it's not in full screen for us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hang on one second.
We're seeing the presenter slides, Heather.
Okay.
If you want to swap your displays.
Yep.
Thanks, Jared.
One second. Yeah, now I've got it all. I apologize, guys.
As you're listening to Heather, if you have thoughts, notes, questions, please jot them down. You can even put your questions in the chat, and then we'll return to them when she finishes her presentation. Christopher Cuevas, it is so nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Wow, everybody's here. Lucy, good to see you. Alex, Asim.
Okay, are we better?
That's it. Thank you.
All right, sorry, I had my 2 monitors going. I apologize for that. As Rachel mentioned, so this was the assignment. Valencia brought North Highland in to help identify 2 to 3 top priority areas that would be opportunities to really drive a broader service offering beyond just the college and what you guys have been doing today. But most importantly, how might that be done in a more sustainable way from a revenue perspective? So we spoke with 9 different stakeholders and then did a series of 2 co-creation sessions, as we call them, where we explored ideas and dreamed a good bit, and then tried to funnel ideas down to the most impactful areas of opportunity. And this presentation today is very much a summary of that work. So I'll share the insights we gleaned from some of the stakeholders we spoke with, as well as the articulation of this future state that everyone helped co-create with us. First and foremost, you all know this very well because you're a part of the advisory board and you're seeing this work in motion. But the work that the Peace and Justice Institute is doing is working. The team is so highly admired. The method that they leverage by way of this immersive dialogue and facilitation expertise really brings out people's awareness of their own understanding and bias, and helps them really reflect on what could be changed in themselves in order to really drive towards a broader opportunity for healing and change. This method is unique, and it is being leveraged both on campus and with the different areas across the community that you guys are working with, and really is making an impact. And the reason beyond the method that I think we've heard from everyone we spoke to is that you are of the community. You know the issues, you know people, you are walking alongside everyone that you're working with in community. And so you're able to make impact in a way that other organizations that I think have come into the scene in the last couple of years, given everything that's happening on the social stage. Sorry, are you guys getting any kickback? I'm sorry. It's all right, sorry. You guys hear me okay? I just was hearing some reverberation when I was speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Cool. So your work is working, and the way that you have leveraged the college culture and the campuses to really incubate what your services are. So if you think about the work that's been done on campus, both by way of the educational classes that have been offered, but the work that's done across the campuses, you know, we actually joined some of the events of Global Peace Week a couple of weeks ago, which was amazing. The culture has become more inclusive and equitable. And now equity sits really at the core of what Valencia's strategic plan is all about. And they're bringing on a new vice president of equity and partnerships, and PGI is going to be part of that effort. So everything about what's happened on campus is truly how you walk, and then bringing that out to the larger community has been just a wonderful next step of what the Institute has been doing. So the fact that this is very much a part of the college has, from the stakeholders we spoke to and the folks you've worked with outside the college, this is a really important part of who you are and how you have developed the work that you've done. And we all are very well aware that the demand for the work that the Peace and Justice Institute can bring forward is so urgent and so relevant and so now. It has ever been urgent. It has ever been important. But I think the spotlight we've experienced with the past 2 years with the pandemic and with everything that's happened in the social space and in the public safety space has just really put a spotlight on everything. And it's brought it back to the forefront in a way that I think is a greater humanity we all need to be reminded of. So the work is needed everywhere. It's needed in the neighborhoods, in our schools, in the institutions. You all know this. And this is where PGI has shown up and gone forward and brought the work that they do. And for every entity that they engage with, folks want more of what they're doing. It's beyond just the engagements that they're doing in person and the methods that they're leveraging, but how can we learn more after those engagements is what we heard from some of the folks that were with the Orlando Public Schools, as well as with the city of Orlando. How can we learn? How can we measure? How can we know that we're making impact? And what does that look like beyond the first level of engagement? So there's a high level of demand for what you're already doing, but what more could you be bringing to the table? And there's a trusted appreciation for what you do and knowing you're going to do the right thing with a lot of dedication and thought into the work that you bring forward. Beyond just the campus in Orlando, there are other areas of the country that are coming forward, and other areas of Florida that are coming forward, really wanting this work, both in the municipality area, Stanford, Florida, Kansas City, Missouri. You've done work in Haiti, and now Chile is another one that's on the list. There's also big corporations that are recognizing the work that's being done. Wells Fargo, Universal Studios, Florida Blue, other colleges want to be doing this work. So as we looked at this from a consultant's perspective to say, is the model of what you're doing working? Is there opportunity for it to expand? The answer was undoubtedly yes. The work you're doing is working. The demand is there. You've been proving out your method, which very much if you take it from a business mindset, which I know can make folks itchy because this is way bigger than a business. This is good human work being done. But if we think about it from a business perspective, you really have been moving from the startup stages of the life cycle of a business, identifying an area of opportunity and how might you solve that area, for the constituents in your marketplace. This is very much about the methods you use, the curriculum you offer, the way you ride alongside the city or the schools or the workshops you bring. You really brought and tested and learned about how you can be doing things right and better and different than others who are out there in the market. Not because you're looking to compete, but because you're looking to grow and really build the culture of peace. So all of that is goodness. It's such goodness that you've been running at all speeds, trying to do all the things. And that's a lot to try to accomplish, which brings us really to this moment where the college said, hey, time out. We need to look at what we're doing. And is there opportunity for us to grow in a different way and create a model that can really sustain the work that we're doing and that can leverage the talent that we have? So if we think about that startup phase, we really are in that step 3, which you've tested and learned, but really now it's about how do we really build a model that can be sustainable, that has flexibility to grow and improve? Are we really fit to market? Are we bringing the right services to the right areas of our communities in a way that's really nuanced and specialized to them? And we have capacity to do it from a people and staff perspective. So it's a great moment. I tell you, it's been a great ride for us to just see where you've come to in this moment and what's ahead of you. So this led us to really basically narrow down the kind of opportunity here to this statement, which then informed the co-creations that we did in the future state that I will take you through next. But how might the Valencia Peace and Justice Institute evolve to meet increasing demand for their services and create the foundation to deliver on their future state vision and purpose? Just a small question, but we were excited to go tackle it together. So what that led to, first and foremost, is a revised vision and purpose that built on what you guys have done for the past 25 years. So this future state is very much a forward thinking. If we think 10 years from now, these are the ideas that we came through with our co-creation sessions. And it started with a revised vision, a vision that's very aspirational and has meaning around it that can tell us what we're striving for, and that this is something that's ideally like forever what we're reaching for. And our purpose is how we show up and deliver on that vision. So our vision is to be a leading institute in the US, developing leaders, organizations, institutions, and communities to cultivate the culture of peace, resilience, and belonging, where all people, all voices, all matter. And we'll do that because we're going to transform people and communities by creating safe environments to foster dialogue, grow relationships, and unlock our shared humanity. This is very much about what you're doing now, and it's just taking it and continuing to build and expand on what you're doing today. And so what does that mean to build and expand on what we're doing today? Today, you are a very established educational institute within the college, and you provide peace and justice education and coursework and events to the students and the faculty across all the 9 campuses. And as I said, it's very much been an incubation space for you to really be testing and learning your method. Beyond that, you've reached out into the community in education and consulting and outreach by way of events and workshops and courses across all the different sectors of your community, and you have made great impact to date. And you today have 3 different funding sources, first and foremost from the college's budget, but also revenue coming in from the events that you've orchestrated and the programs that you host, as well, of course, as individual, private, and public grants and donations. So as we think about the future and how we want to evolve into that state to reach that vision, and also build a more sustainable opportunity for us to expand and scale, it starts to evolve into a bigger idea. And for tomorrow, we see the Peace and Justice Institute really evolving into a leading education research and consulting institute that's working with the college to provide 4 key areas of service offering. And I'm going to walk through each of these. We have a lot more detail that we built as a team behind each of these, but for today, we want to just kind of give you the broad strokes. First and foremost is education, and now professional certification. The idea of offering what you do and really codifying your methods and really building into the curriculum across all the different ideas and areas that you already are doing, and whatever else may come forward that is important to build a culture of peace and belonging and resilience. The idea here is that we would open the curriculum beyond just the students of the college and have that available to everyone, and be able to certify not only folks who might want to go into the practice of doing the work that you do, but also to help them be certified in the areas of focus in which you do your work. We think a key component to this is bringing a research entity into the Institute to really be at the forefront of what's happening in this space by way of methods, ideas, and all of the ways that that work can make impact in the areas in which it's applied. So whether that research comes in through the university as a component of what the college of what it already has, or that you partner with a research entity to help build all of that work. The studies that can be done across Florida and even beyond to see where this work is having impact and how that has opportunity to inform the curriculum that you are designing and teaching. The second service area is built on the work that you do from the education space. So bringing your work out to all the sectors of the community and creating a consulting services where you can come in and assess an organization's level of opportunity to evolve into a more inclusive situation within their systems and processes or their workforce planning. We could leverage the research partners' work when it comes to how we would model the right level of impact and to see how an organization's progressing over time. So if we were to come in and assess and build a plan about what they could do to help be more inclusive and be more diverse, have more understanding of resilience opportunities to really strengthen and build wellness with their workforce, how might we measure that over time? So these consulting services would be codified and directed by different sectors of the community. So what a school may need is going to be a little bit different than a healthcare organization, which might be a little bit different than a corporate organization. So being able to use a common method, but yet design how you bring it to market. And so it's very relevant to the needs of each different constituency. The third area is an online platform, because this is where we all live today. And you do have space here to, I think, grow and really amplify the work that you're doing. So beyond the regional area of Florida, how might we share the work that we're doing, both from a speaker series perspective, the curriculum could be available. How can we leverage a platform to have free content available to folks, but also have a subscription-based access to more of the deeper insight into your thought leadership and your research, course curriculum and certification programs. You could have a lot of the work you start with a client or start with an entity and organization transfer to an online space where they could have ongoing coaching or additional learning available to them. The virtual platform just really expands your reach, and it's definitely, where we are today in this world, a really important component to how you can move forward. The fourth area is very much about giving back into the community and being of the community. As I said earlier, one of the key components to who you are and how you work is that you are very much a part of your communities. And so just as much as you need to be in and among and walking through the neighborhoods and with the organizations and with the leaders, that gives you insight into what's going on and how you can show up and bring what you do to help dismantle harmful systems and really help build hope and resilience. So this idea is that this is probably one in part in-kind work that we do across communities with leaders and organizations to help bring programs to those who need it. It's also an area for us to learn what's going on and how it can inform the work that we do. In the future, we have multiple revenue streams, back to the sustainability component of what we are here to look for, including the college. We also see that there's revenue opportunity with the course and certification programs, opening that up to a broader constituency, the online platform and having subscriptions available, consulting services, as well as, of course, grants and donations. So those are the areas of opportunity that we really explored with the group. And we, as I said, have a little bit more detail behind each 4 of these areas. But as we think about who we would serve and from a business perspective, who is our audience or who are the customers we serve, we all agreed throughout conversations that it is all people, all sectors, all community. We need to rise all boats in this water, and every aspect of our community is so important, right? So if we think about all the little plants to plant and help this garden of peace grow across our community, we will be working with areas within education, public safety, municipalities and government, healthcare and business, nonprofits. And these are logos here on the screen of entities that you're already working with. As I said, this method's already been tested. You already are doing these things. Now it's about how do we bring it to a broader scale and how can we continue to grow the work that you're doing. Where will you serve? This is a big point of discussion as we work through our co-creation sessions, because the goodness of how you work is very much because you are of and part of the community. So in our discussions, how we framed it is that Central Florida and the regional areas and the communities you serve today will ever always be who you serve. And if you think about the Valencia College being like the home base to the Peace and Justice Institute and informing the research and the curriculum and being that incubator of the method and how we bring that forward. But then we want to bring it further out beyond the college to serve our communities and how we can do what we're doing now in a broader scale. And then an awareness and level of impact at a national and world level as we have a virtual platform that brings our message forward. If we are training and teaching others to do what we do, then those people can take what we do and bring it to another place around the country and plant their PJI. So the goal is not to compete. The goal is to bring peace to all around. And so our goal is to have as much impact as we can to the broader areas that we can. And we're already doing this today. We are doing a lot of work in the resilience and education space across numerous states across the country. A lot of the work that's been done here in Florida, not just in Orlando, but in municipalities beyond that. And then, of course, in the business space, we also are doing things beyond just Florida. So this, again, just shows that we are doing the things. It's how do we move forward to be beyond the current capacity and scale that we are today. So we have captured all of what I just shared to you in multiple slides into kind of a one-page 10-year vision and strategy map with our vision and purpose, what we do, who we serve, where we serve, and how we serve. And as a team, we talked through some of the key strategic priorities that we'll have to think about in order to evolve into this 10-year vision. They're about how do we evolve and enhance the organization? How do we codify the methods and the services that we offer to be unique to each of the audiences that we are now serving? How do we really grow and design our community enrichment model? And what does that look like? And how might that evolve? And then how do we really amplify our content and create, ideally, in the longer term, a blueprint for how we can do this in other places around the country? So it's super ambitious. It's super exciting. The work that you guys have done is phenomenal, and the opportunity ahead is just rich. So I just, again, thank you for the time today, and I'd be happy to hear any questions that you might have about the work. A couple of things that we asked ourselves as we kind of came to the conclusion of our time together was really, where should we make a bet and where do we play? What capabilities do we need to develop? And how does that happen? How can the college support us? What other things do we need to consider by way of growing and scaling what PJI is doing? And how do we make those decisions in a way that's collaborative and inclusive, both with the advisory board, the team, as well as the college? So
Heather, this is so great. And And I hope you all were able to, absorb that it's a lot. I mean, it's a growing vision.